Man among men. Chow Yun Fat. Nearly everyone knows Fat Gore, or elder brother Fat, as Chow Yun Fat is affectionately called. Chow is truly a household name as his fans span all generations, and he is the city's most beloved and popular public figure. All of his Hong Kong and Hollywood fame aside, Chow has maintained a low-key personal life. Chow is famous for his incredibly humble lifestyle in Hong Kong, taking the MTR, queuing for food, and his passion for photography. Describing his day-to-day life, we wake up, read the papers, and go to the market in Kowloon City to buy food. Then, I will potter around the house and see what needs to be fixed, and then watch a little television. He famously used a Nokia flip phone for nearly 2 decades, only switching to a smartphone when it physically broke down. He often uses a tripod and waits for passers-by to step into his composition. He added that he often woke up at 5 a.m. to capture the quiet streets before Hong Kong's hustle and bustle emerged. And after 5 decades as an actor with over 100 titles in his filmography, he was happy to play the role of a photographer. Now he is the runner who ran every single day. He has noted that when he is out jogging, he isn't a superstar. He is just one of many people on the trail. He famously said, "When I run, no one recognizes me or asks for photos. Everyone respects me." In Hong Kong, he is treated as a common man's icon. It is common to hear stories of him lining up for tickets to his own movies, standing in the same queue as his fans. This accessibility is a rare trait for an international superstar, and is the secret to why he remains the big brother of the entire city. Was born on May 18, 1955 on Lamma Island, Hong Kong, and grew up in a farming community without electricity. His father, Chow Yun Fat, served as a worker on a Shell Oil Company tanker, while his mother, Chan Lai Fong, served as a cleaning lady and vegetable farmer. In 1965, when he was 10 years old, his family moved to Kowloon. His cinematic education only began after he moved to the city, where, as a self-described country bumpkin, he would sneak into discount screenings of Hollywood blockbusters. As his father passed away early, he had to help his mother till the land, feed the pigs, catch the fish, sell traditional tea pudding, and do other farm chores since a very young age. In 1972, financial necessity forced Chow to leave formal education at the age of 17. He worked a series of odd jobs, from bellboy and factory hand to taxi driver and postman. The tough life that Chow Yun Fat led during his childhood not only forged his rustic and reserved personality, but also endowed him with a rich inner strength that has served him well in his subsequent journey through life. 1973. Chow Yun Fat responded to a newspaper advertisement for a TVB actor training course. He initially failed to impress most of the judges because he lacked formal singing or dancing skills and was nearly rejected. He was saved only when a legendary veteran judge, Chung King-fai, recognized his raw charisma and fighting spirit, personally stepping in to ensure his admission. After completing a 1-year training boot camp, he signed a 3-year contract with the network in 1975 and quickly began finding consistent work. Following a series of minor roles in soap operas, he gained recognition in 1976 with TVB series such as The Killer, The Itinerant Boy, and Hotel. He achieved his television breakout in 1979 with Wong Jing's The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. It did not take long for Chow to become a household name following his role in the 1980 hit series The Bund. The show, which followed the rise and fall of a gangster in 1930s Shanghai, made him a star. One of the most popular television series ever produced in Hong Kong, it was a massive success throughout Asia and is universally credited with establishing his iconic, tragic hero image. He continued his television dominance by playing So-chan in The Legend of Master So, 1982, and Lingu Chong in Jin Yong's famous The Smiling Proud Wanderer, 1984. He appeared in dozens of television series between 1975 and 1985. Although Chow continued his TV success, his goal was to become a big-screen actor. In 1976, just as he was achieving massive popularity with the TVB drama, he signed an exclusive movie contract with Goldig Films. Goldig immediately pushed him as a cinematic leading man across a quick succession of films. In 1976, he landed supporting roles in his film debut The Reincarnation, as well as The Hunter, The Butterfly and the Crocodile, and Massage Girls. In 1977, he starred in Hot Blood. 1978, he appeared in Miss O and Their Private Lives. The year 1980 saw a flood of releases, including Siba, Pursuit, Police Sir, and Joy to the World. Unfortunately, all of his early ventures onto the big screen were commercially disastrous. In 1981, he starred in Soul Ash and the Story of Wu Viet, directed by Hong Kong New Wave visionary An Hui. This landmark film marked the beginning of his legendary on-screen romantic pairing with actress Sherry Chung. In 1982, he reunited with Sherry Chung for The Postman Strikes Back, and then starred in seasonal films gritty thriller The Headhunter. In 1983, he starred in Last Affair alongside Carol Cheng, as well as a two-part feature film adaptation of his hit television series, The Bund. That same year, he also starred in Blood Money and the Thai co-produced feature Katanyu Prakasit. In 1984, Chow reunited with director An Hui for the Shaw Brothers production of Love in a Fallen City. That same year, he delivered a powerful performance in the wartime drama Hong Kong 1941, which won him his first Golden Horse Award for Best Leading Actor. He rounded out the year starring in the supernatural thriller The Occupant. In 1985, Chow starred in Why Me? And Women earning him a Best Actor nomination at the Hong Kong Film Awards and serving as another on-screen reunion with Sherry Chung. By the end of 1985, Chow was widely perceived as an actor whose raw talent was undisputed, but whose name remained a financial liability for commercial cinema. The year 1986 proved to be the ultimate turning point for Chow, marked by a massive wave of artistic collaborations. He starred in the dark fantasy thriller Witch from Nepal alongside Emily Chu. For me, it was Emily's most visually captivating on-screen role. He followed this with the fantasy romance Dream Lovers, starring alongside Brigitte Lin. This was the only film in which they appeared together. Chow displayed his dramatic range in new wave director Stanley Kwan's critically acclaimed mystery drama, Love Unto Waste, 1986, sharing the screen with a rising Tony Leung. Despite his immense popularity on the small screen, Chow's early transition to feature films was plagued by commercial disappointments. The industry quickly labeled him box office poison. Because audiences could watch him daily on television for free, they felt little incentive to spend money to see him in a cinema. Ironically, this poisonous era yielded some of his most critically acclaimed performances. In 1986, the landscape of Hong Kong cinema shifted forever with the arrival of John Woo's A Better Tomorrow. I've made a standalone video about that. Chow Yun Fat won his first Hong Kong Film Award for Best Actor for his performance as the honorable gangster Mark Gore, a role that left an indelible mark on audiences worldwide. With A Better Tomorrow, Chow Yun Fat transcended his status as a local star to become the most influential actor in the region and a towering figure in Hong Kong's cinematic history. In 1986, Chow Yun Fat's filmography expanded rapidly with a diverse array of projects. He starred in the action horror The Seventh Curse, the romantic drama Rose, and the comedies 100 Ways to Murder Your Wife, A Hearty Response, and My Will, I Will. Perhaps most significantly, he starred in The Lunatics, the directorial debut of Derek Yee, who would later go on to direct Jackie Chan's darkest film, Shinjuku Incident. In The Lunatics, Yee cast Chow as a man suffering from severe mental illness who has lost everything. It remains one of Chow's most haunting and critically acclaimed performances. If 1986 was his turning point, 1987 was a landmark year that proved his absolute dominance in cinema. He teamed up with his friend Ringo Lam for City on Fire, a gritty masterpiece that won him the Hong Kong Film Award for Best Actor. This film, which served as a major inspiration for Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs, helped establish Chow's popularity as an action star across Asia and eventually North America. While it is a heroic bloodshed film, Lam's style was distinctly more grounded and realistic than John Woo's. He reunited with his frequent co-star Sherry Chung for The Supernatural Spiritual Love and starred in the action-packed Flaming Brothers and Scared Stiff. Perhaps his most iconic performance of the year, however, was in Mabel Chung's An Autumn's Tale. It remains one of his best films and arguably his finest performance in a non-action role. It earned him the Golden Horse Award for Best Actor and a nomination at the Hong Kong Film Awards. And then he starred in Rich and Famous alongside Andy Lau. And then he starred in Brotherhood. He famously helped Tony Leung Ka-fai, who had been blacklisted by the Taiwanese film industry and was struggling to make ends meet, selling jewelry on the street, returned to acting. He insisted that Leung co-star with him in Ringo Lam's intense prison drama, Prison on Fire. The year was rounded out by a flurry of major hits, including the Rich and Famous saga with Andy Lau, the sequel Tragic Hero, John Woo and Tsui Hark's A Better Tomorrow 2, and the romantic comedy The Romancing Star alongside Maggie Cheung. In 1988, Chow continued his dominance with a string of high-profile hits. He reunited with his A Better Tomorrow co-star T. Leung for the intense action film City War, another standout in the heroic bloodshed genre. He also starred in the drama Goodbye, My Friend. He reunited with his iconic co-star Sherry Chung for the ensemble comedy The Eighth Happiness, and appeared alongside Joey Wong in the romantic comedy Fractured Follies. He also made a cameo appearance in the sequel The Romancing Star 2. His output that year showcased his ability to balance genres, as he moved from the police action comedy Tiger on the Beat, which featured some of the era's most innovative stunt work, to films like The Greatest Lover, the drama Cherry Blossoms, and the comedy Diary of a Big Man. By this point, Chow was not just an action hero. He was a multifaceted performer who could carry a romantic lead, an action flick, or a comedy with equal ease. By 1989, Chow Yun Fat was arguably the biggest star in Asia. This was the year he fulfilled a personal dream with All About Ah Long. Directed by Johnny To, the film was not only a star vehicle but a creative milestone for Chow, who co-wrote the script and starred alongside Sylvia Chang. It was a deeply personal and emotional triumph that showcased his dramatic range. 1989 also marked a major turning point in his professional relationships. Following creative differences, John Woo and Tsui Hark went their separate ways, leading to two distinct projects in the same year, both of which starred Chow Yun Fat. John Woo directed the masterpiece The Killer, which remains his most iconic, heroic bloodshed film. Meanwhile, Tsui Hark directed A Better Tomorrow 3, a prequel set against the backdrop of the Vietnam War, co-starring Tony Leung Ka-fai and the legendary Anita Mui. His commercial dominance reached a new level when he collaborated with director Wong Jing. In this role, he brought to life the character of Ko Chun, becoming the definitive god of gamblers. This role created an entirely new archetype in Hong Kong cinema and further cemented his status as a box office titan. Wong Jing's 1989 crowd pleaser, God of Gamblers, the first smash hit of the Hong Kong gambling comedy genre, solidified his regular tough guy persona and earned him another Best Actor nominations at the Hong Kong Film Awards. By 1989, he had been nominated for the Best Actor award 10 times. His prolific year was rounded out by the gritty crime drama Triads, The Inside Story, and yet another screen reunion with his frequent co-star Sherry Chung in Ringo Lam's intense action romance, Wild Search. By the end of 1989, Chow Yun Fat wasn't just an actor. He was the face of Hong Kong's golden age. In the meantime, Chow became gradually disillusioned with the Hong Kong film industry, citing local filmmakers' tendency to forsake quality for quantity, which he found to be a disheartening phenomenon. In a 1993 interview with The Post, Chow said, "I am not happy with the Hong Kong market. Before I was like an acting machine. I've made more than 900 episodes for the television stations. That's a lot." In 1990, he starred in The Fun, The Luck, and The Tycoon. He also made an appearance in God of Gamblers 2, though that role used existing archive footage rather than a new performance. The following year, 1991, brought one of the most beloved collaborations in Hong Kong cinema history, John Woo's Once a Thief. Starring alongside Leslie Cheung and his longtime screen partner, Cherie Chung, this film marked Chung's final performance before her retirement. For many, it remains the ultimate dream pairing, a stylish, effortless blend of romance, heist, and comedy. That same year, he returned to the world of Ringo Lam's prison dramas with the sequel, Prison on Fire 2. There was a heartwarming turning point at the 1991 Hong Kong Film Awards. Back in the early 1980s, Aung Man Tat, known as Uncle Tat, had fallen into a severe gambling addiction that left him deep in debt. When he approached his friend Chow Yun Fat for a loan, Chow famously refused, telling him, "You must solve this yourself." At the time, it felt cold. And when Uncle Tat won the award for Best Supporting Actor for A Moment of Romance at the 10th Hong Kong Film Awards, he made his resentment clear by cold-shouldering Chow. However, the film's director, Benny Chan, later pulled him aside and revealed the truth. Chow was the one who specifically recommended him for this role to give him a legitimate way back. Uncle Tat later famously said, "If he had given me the money, I would have just lost it again." 1992 was another monumental year. He appeared in romantic comedy Now You See Love, Now You Don't. However, this year is best remembered by fans for Hard Boiled, a masterpiece directed by John Woo. Featuring an iconic partnership with Tony Leung Chiu-wai, the film pushed the boundaries of action cinema. Chow also starred in Ringo Lam's action thriller Full Contact, proving once again that he was the absolute master of the genre. In 1994, Chow returned to his most iconic role in God of Gamblers Returns, the true sequel to the 1989 blockbuster that had defined a generation of Hong Kong cinema. That same year, he starred in the action-adventure Treasure Hunt, a performance that earned him a nomination for Best Actor at the Hong Kong Film Awards. In 1995, he starred in Peace Hotel, the directorial debut of Wai Ka-fai. This film was particularly significant as it was the final project Chow Yun Fat completed in Hong Kong before his departure for the West. Years leading up to the 1997 handover were a quiet period for Chow professionally. He stepped back from the relentless pace of the Hong Kong film industry, choosing to take a hiatus during this time of immense political and social transition. Chow Yun Fat moved to Hollywood in the mid-1990s as one of the biggest stars in Asia, famously proclaimed by the Los Angeles Times as the coolest actor in the world. Reportedly, some of the US producers he worked with had plans to turn him into a Chinese James Bond. He took a deliberate 2-year hiatus from Hong Kong cinema to learn English and study the American studio system, fully preparing for his debut. Finally, in 1998, Chow Yun Fat began his global era, successfully transitioning to Hollywood and introducing his legendary charisma to a worldwide audience. His first American film, Antoine Fuqua's The Replacement Killers, 1998, arrived with high expectations. However, both it and his 1999 follow-up, The Corruptor, which saw him starring alongside Mark Wahlberg, were box office disappointments. Chow had often wished to be regarded as a serious dramatic actor in Hollywood. Unfortunately, he often landed in roles that stereotyped him as an Asian action hero. To have had the chance to try out Hollywood already makes me very happy. We'll analyze the results later, he said in 1998, ahead of the release of his United States debut, Antoine Fuqua's The Replacement Killers. His next major project, Anna and the King, 1999, teamed him with Jodie Foster, but unfortunately also failed to ignite the box office. Faced with a film industry that often struggled to see him as anything more than an Asian stereotype, Chow made a strategic choice. He leaned into his heritage by accepting the role of Li Mubai in Ang Lee's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 2000. The gamble paid off immensely. The film became a massive winner at the international box office and a landmark achievement at the Academy Awards, proving that the world was finally ready for his brand of storytelling. However, the struggle against typecasting continued. In 2003, Chow returned to Hollywood for Bulletproof Monk, a film that saw him cast once again in the familiar stereotype of the mystical martial arts expert. Although the film underperformed at the box office, though it later developed a cult following. By 2005, Chow Yun Fat began focusing his talents on Chinese film market. He made a cameo appearance in the contemporary comedy Waiting Alone, signaling his return to Chinese language cinema. In 2006, he reunited with Anne Hui for the film The Postmodern Life of My Aunt. His momentum in this new era accelerated in 2006 when he teamed up with iconic actress Gong Li in the visually stunning Curse of the Golden Flower. Directed by the visionary Zhang Yimou, Chow returned to the global stage in 2007 for his prominent role as the charismatic Captain Sao Feng in the blockbuster Pirates of the Caribbean. At World's End, his character, however, was omitted when the movie was shown in mainland China. His character was criticized as demeaning as it vilifies and humiliates the Chinese. Despite the censorship, the unedited version of the movie was freely sold on the black market without government intervention because viewers wanted to see Chow Yun Fat. Shortly after, he starred in the historical drama The Children of Huang Shi. It was directed by Roger Spottiswoode and starred Michelle Yeoh and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. In 2009, Chow Yun Fat starred in 2 films. Ironically, one is his worst film of all and one is policy film. He did them at the same year, Dragon Ball Evolution and the Founding of a Republic. In the live-action version of Dragon Ball Evolution, which performed poorly in the USA, and Chow Yun Fat played Master Roshi. In 2010, he played the title role in the biographical drama Confucius. That same year, he also starred in the thriller Shanghai and the acclaimed hit Let the Bullets Fly.
算球
In 2011, Chow appeared in the historical epic policy film, The Founding of a Party. In 2012, Chow starred in The Assassins alongside Liu Yifei, a film based on the romance of the Three Kingdoms. That same year, he starred in The Last Tycoon, which is notable for being the only film in which Chow Yun Fat and Sammo Hung have appeared together. In 2014, Chow Yun Fat leaned into his iconic history by starring in From Vegas to Macau. While he played a new character, the film was a clear tribute to the legacy of his God of Gamblers series, delighting fans by bringing his classic gambling action persona back to the screen. In that same year, he also took on the regal role of the Jade Emperor in the blockbuster The Monkey King. In 2015, Chow Yun Fat returned with From Vegas to Macau 2, continuing his popular comedic gambling franchise. He also starred alongside Tang Wei and Eason Chan in the musical drama Office, directed by Johnny Tuohy. In 2016, Chow Yun Fat returned for the third installment of the From Vegas to Macau series. That same year, he joined the high-stakes political thriller Cold War II, starring alongside Aaron Kwok and Tony Leung Ka-fai. In Cold War II, when Oswald Khan pulls out that antique camera, he isn't just acting. He is holding a piece of his own soul. The camera isn't a prop from the studio's costume department. It's from Chow Yun Fat's own private collection. In 2018, Chow reunited with Aaron Kwok for the high-stakes crime thriller Project Gutenberg, a role that brought back the intensity of his classic era. By 2023, he returned to the gambling genre with One More Chance, a poignant drama that saw him portray a pathological gambler searching for a deeper connection with his autistic son. In 2025, he appeared in Detective Chinatown 1900. For Chow, this project was deeply meaningful. The story of Chinese railroad workers in the 19th century was a subject the legendary director King Hu had long dreamed of filming before his passing. The late director King Hu had given him the script for the Battle of Ono, and Chow said it is his dream role. Portraying a character within this historical struggle felt like fulfilling a long-held creative dream. Most recently, in 2026, he starred in Cold War 1994, a continuation of the intense Hong Kong police franchise. There were many stars who appeared throughout the golden age of Hong Kong cinema, but Chow Yun Fat is more than just a star. He is a man among men, the perfect example of what truly matters in this often meaningless world. He performs to live, he runs to live, he photographs to live. Quite simply, he lives to live. He is not just a celebrity, he is the elder brother who shows us how to truly live our lives.
Bye. Bye.